Welcome to my PowerPoint presentation on why Moment of Glory is a bad perk in Dead by Daylight. Moment of Glory activates when you open or rummage through chests 2 times. The next time you enter the injured state, Moment of Glory triggers an effect duration of at least 60 seconds. You become broken for this duration, but are healed 1 health state afterwards. Moment of Glory does not activate if you already suffer from broken and deactivates after it triggers the healing effect or if you enter the dying state during the active duration. In my opinion, Moment of Glory has the bones to be a really strong perk. However, it fails on numerous fronts that merge into a complete mess. Healing while in chase is an extremely powerful effect, but it is bogged down by how much the perk expects you to accomplish. First and foremost, it asks you to interact with chests twice. Chests are barely worth doing once, let alone twice. It's a significant time sink in both actually opening the chests and running between them as well. This is time that could be well spent repairing generators. Another issue lies in the scarcity of chests. Under normal circumstances, only 3 chests spawn per trial and rummaging is not a base kit feature. This means that normally, only 1 activation of Moment of Glory can happen across all 4 survivors without loadout support in the form of perks like Appraisal, items like keys, or offerings like the Polished Coin. Lastly, other survivors can open chests, which can hinder your ability to activate the perk. Beyond that, the perk puts the survivor in a dangerous position to receive its benefits. Note that the perk activates when you become injured, meaning that you cannot open a chest while you are already injured in order to trigger it. The word become is load-bearing in this sentence, and I suppose it's a testament that my reading comprehension isn't as good as I think it is, but I feel that the wording could be changed to make it a little more clear, such as saying the next time you become injured. Moreover, the perk does not activate when you are already broken, meaning most effects that enable you to safely drop a health state like For the People do not work with Moment of Glory. In other words, you have to be hit by the killer and survive for 60 seconds. The safest way to do this is to either take a protection hit or run a perk like Lucky Break so you can quickly lose the killer. However, if the killer manages to stay on your trail, you're locked in for a 60-second chase. It's a lot to ask for, especially when your loadout is probably clogged with perks to support Moment of Glory instead of viable chase perks. That being said, even if you do survive for a whole 60 seconds, did you really need the health state? It is something of a Winmore design. The last issue the perk faces is that it only heals 1 health state rather than healing you to healthy. Combined with the fact you have to trigger the perk in chase, it becomes even more worthless against killers like the Deathslinger or the Ghoul. Additionally, there are other self-healing options like Inner Strength or a medkit that are less risky and time-consuming. Moment of Glory has a lot of considerations that must be made when it comes to reworking it. While the 60-second effect duration is pretty steep, simply reducing the timer would run the risk of it becoming too strong. Rather, I think looking into its activation conditions and sprinkling in some added bonuses would go farther than you think. The first change I made was to bring the chest requirement down to 1 action. This combats the scarcity of chests and vastly reduces Moment of Glory's reliance on other loadout items. However, I did stipulate that you must be healthy in order to activate the perk. This mitigates how much of a buff this change is, but also helps clarify how the perk functions. It's much clearer that the perk will not activate if you open a chest while injured, so you cannot use it as some freebie passive heal. I did also tweak the active effects. For one, I flattened the effect duration to 60 seconds across all tiers. Additionally, the perk now heals you to the healthy state rather than just 1 health state, mitigating its weakness against deep wound killers like Legion or the Ghoul. The most interesting change, however, are the effect reduction bonuses. Each time you stun or blind the killer, the effect duration of Moment of Glory is reduced by a few seconds. This offers a nice middle ground in making its strong effect easier to activate, but also requiring that the survivor earns it. It encourages the survivor to engage with the killer more, as well as making riskier plays in hopes of it paying off. Lastly, Moment of Glory grants you the ability to rummage through chests to acquire a basic flashlight. This serves a threefold purpose. It greatly increases your ability to activate Moment of Glory, both in case all chests have been opened, and in giving you an additional use if not. Secondly, it allows survivors to make good use of the new duration reduction effect I implemented without loadout support. Thirdly, it also pairs nicely with Trevor's other perk, Exaltation, both thematically in being a brave warrior fighting evil in the limited way survivors can in Dead by Daylight, but mechanically in offering a chase-oriented item that Exaltation can make the best use of. Thanks for watching, leave a like, and put your thoughts in the comments below.